This is Datila, and welcome to the It's Wrestling Time post show. It is Monday, December 19th, 2022, and for tonight, I will be talking about Monday Night Raw. Okay, so tonight's Raw is one of the final two Raws of the year, and honestly, I actually really enjoyed tonight's Raw. There's a lot that happened, and Raw opened up with a Bloodline promo slash segment. Roman talking about how Raw is a home of Kevin Owens, the home that Kevin Owens continues to leave and continues to crash the island of relevancy. And Roman basically goes on to say that KO is going to need more than Cena in the entire Raw locker room to beat him and Sami Zayn. They're going to torture him and make his life a living hell. And then it cuts to the back and you see Solo, Sami Zayn attack Mustafa Ali and Andre Chase. I don't know why it's always Mustafa Ali. Like, I feel bad for him. Seriously. Poor Mustafa Ali. But after this, we get the Street Profits versus Judgment Day in the form of Priest and Damien Balor. And this was actually a good match. I'm actually surprised the Street Profits won this match. I was not expecting the Street Profits to win. I thought Judgment Day was going to win. But what happened afterwards is what was interesting. So, Street Profits come out with Akira Tozawa. He accompanies them to the ring, and he has a red cup. And I don't know what he has. I think it's water, maybe. And Dominic, he comes out with shades because Oscar spat that mist in his face, and so Akira Tozawa throws his water, whatever he had in that cup, onto Dominic. And this allows Street Profits to be victorious. And so at the end of the match, what ends up happening is Rhea Ripley ends up challenging Akira Tozawa to a match. And so it goes to commercial break. When it comes back, Rhea's in the ring, and Akira Tozawa is just like, he's just standing there. And we actually get an intergender match. How crazy is that? It's the first intergender match in wow, I think in like forever. And during this match, like, you could tell Akira Tozawa was holding back in this match. He did do a Hurricanrana, and Finn Balor, of course, got involved. He tripped Tozawa, and then the Street Profits, who were still ringside, they took out Priest and Balor. But yeah, so Akira Tozawa really held back in this match. But this match was to showcase Rhea Ripley. I mean, it's not the first time she attacked the guy. She's attacked Rey Mysterio, Matt Riddle, Doc Gallows. And honestly, they're building up Rhea Ripley. I would not be surprised if Rhea Ripley ends up winning the Women's Royal Rumble next month, because she is doing a phenomenal job. And this match is about her. Like, she took it to Tozawa, and I really enjoyed it. I really did. I honestly, we're gonna go the intergender route. Maybe we should get Mia Yim versus Shelton Benjamin, since they have a little feud going on too on Twitter. But Rhea Ripley wins this match. But what did you guys think of this intergender match? Like, were you guys surprised that this match happened? Were you expecting it? Let me know in the live chat or in the comments. So afterwards, Adam Pearce is backstage and didn't even watch Raw for the first 2 hours. Glad they did a mixed gender match. I hope they continue with it. Intergender. Mix is like men against men and women against women. So as Adam Pearce is talking to Kathy Kelly, MVP comes in and he says he wants to talk to Pearce. And Adam Pearce runs out because something happened in the back. And it looked like Cedric Alexander got attacked and Dolph Ziggler got attacked. And Ziggler said it was a bloodline. But it was kind of interesting that Cedric Alexander got attacked and MVP wanted to talk to Adam Pearce. Could we be seeing a reunion of the Hurt Business, maybe? So then we have the OC versus Alpha Academy. This was an okay match. It wasn't too bad. I really like that. That what was it? It would look like a clothesline that Otis did to Doc Gallows. Of course, the OC were victorious after they hit the Magic Killer to Chad Gable, but after the match, the Hurt Business will be getting back together. Yeah, it seems like it. And after the match, the Bloodline actually attacked the OC. The Usos gave a 1D to Carl Anderson and another 1D to Doc Gallows, and then Sami Zayn and AJ Styles went at it, which set up a match later on. Because here it goes. It was a Bloodline promo, and Sami Zayn asks Adam Pearce what his problem is, and he's the only one angry. The people love Sami Uso, the Usologist. He doesn't appreciate Pearce rushing his dogs. And they go on to say that this was a small example of what's going to happen to Cena and KO. And so Styles attacked Sami Zayn, and AJ Styles said he wanted a match with Sami Zayn or any one of the Usos, and he got a match with Sami Zayn. So I actually really like this whole Bloodline attacking everybody. I felt like it was something that was kind of needed, because usually when the Bloodline comes to Raw or Roman comes to Raw, it's always the same shtick every single time. So I'm really happy we got something different. All right, so Alexa Bliss and Bianca Belair are doing a sit-down interview. And they're basically talking about what's been going on with Alexa Bliss and why she almost attacked Bianca last week. And Alexa Bliss is talking about how she can't really explain what's going on, that Bray abducted her, turned her into an evil version of herself, and then left her alone. That she's pretty much a shell of a human being, and she's still trying to work on herself. Bianca says she sympathizes with Bliss, but she doesn't believe her. And Alexa Bliss is quick to remind Bianca that she was winning titles before she came to the door. And so because there's a TV back behind them, Bray Wyatt's logo glitches and she attacks Bianca. So again, we're getting the slow burn of Alexa turning heel. I think that when they have their title match, I think she'll probably more than likely lose, and that's when they'll fully turn her heel. But it's been a slow burn. But after she turns heel, is she going to align herself with Bray Wyatt, or are they just going to turn her heel? I guess we got to wait and see. But what do you guys think? Do you guys think Alexa just turns heel, or does she turn heel and align herself with Bray Wyatt again? We had the ladder match, Dexter Lumis versus The Miz, and honestly, I was not a huge fan of this ladder match. It felt kind of off. I usually like ladder matches, and ladder matches are usually exciting, but not this one. There was just something about this. I guess it's because The Miz is not a big spot guy. So that's why this match kind of this should have just been a no DQ match, honestly, because this was not a good ladder match, if you ask me. The only spot that I like in this was when Dexter Lumis did a leg drop from a top of the ladder onto the announce table. The Miz ended up moving. I hope she just turns heel. I don't want to see Alexa with Bray Wyatt no more supernatural stuff. Yeah, I hope she just turns heel too. So that was like my only favorite spot in this match, and that says something, because usually ladder matches have a lot of spots, a lot of cool spots, but not this one. That was just the only thing that I could think of. Afterwards, it seems like The Miz is going to win this, but Dexter Lumis actually gets back up and he tosses The Miz off. And then guess who comes back, people? Jonah, or should I say Bronson Reed, makes a return, and he helps The Miz. He gives a splash to Dexter Lumis, or a tsunami. And then The Miz ends up winning this match with the help of Jonah. So I'm very curious to see what they're going to do with Bronson Reed now that he's back. It seems like maybe he's going to be a protector of The Miz, maybe The Miz's bodyguard. I just really hope that this is the end of the Dexter Lumis, Miz, Johnny Gargano storyline. But now that they have Bronson Reed, You could possibly do a tag match, but I don't want that. None of us want that. Let's just end this storyline. But I find it funny that on commentary, if you were paying attention, they said that Bronson Reed made an impact, which is so funny because Bronson Reed did wrestle on Impact as Jonah. He had some incredible matches with PCO. If you haven't seen them, you should highly see it. I highly recommend that you do. They're actually really good matches. I really hope he's not another lackey to the Miz. Yeah, same here. I really hope he's not a lackey to the Miz. You could have bought back John Morrison and reunited Miz and Morrison. That would have made more sense, and I wouldn't have had a problem with that. But now you're bringing back Bronson Reed and potentially making him Mrs. Lackey. I don't like that. You know, this whole Dexter Lumis stuff I was not a huge fan of. I don't know what more they can do with Bronson Reed and The Miz. Like I said, maybe they're setting up for a tag match, but I really don't want to see that tag match. So we get AJ Styles versus Sami Zayn. And this was actually a really good match. I was enjoying this match. And of course, the Bloodline had to get involved in this. And it was in the form of Solo Sikoa, who was coming down the steps and basically causing a distraction. AJ Styles went after Solo Sikoa. Solo hitting him with the Samoan spike. And then Sami Zayn did the Blue Thunder Bomb to AJ Styles, allowing him to be victorious. So Sami Zayn has momentum going into his match next week on Friday against John Cena and Kevin Owens. Okay, so then we get a Seth Rollins Austin Theory promo, and I actually really enjoyed this promo. A lot was said, and Seth Rollins in this promo, basically at the beginning, he sent a message to Roman Reigns saying that Mondays do not belong to him. They belong to the visionary, the revolutionary, to Seth frickin' Rollins. And of course, before Seth Rollins goes any further, Austin Theory interrupts, and we find out that their title match is set for the January 2nd edition of Monday Night Raw. The fans are chanting, "You suck," and it's so funny because Seth Rollins asks them that they mean Theory, right? And yeah, because they're in Iowa, which is Seth Rollins' home state. Theory starts talking about how nothing belongs to Rollins, and that he reminds Rollins that it was him who said that the U.S. title was the title of Raw, which could only mean one thing, that the champ is here, which, as we all know, it used to be a catchphrase of John Cena. I think they're trying to tell us something with that. And Theory goes on to say that whether Rollins likes it or not, the Austin Theory era is forever, and this is just the beginning. And Rollins will pass the torch, and if he doesn't, Theory will take the torch from him, from his cold legendary fingers. And so Seth Rollins tells Austin Theory, "Merry Christmas, kid." And you guys know Austin Theory does not like to be called kid. And so Rollins goes on to remind Theory to keep his cool because he doesn't want to end up like Bobby Lashley. Theory then reminds Rollins that he's only here because Lashley took his anger out on officials and not Rollins, and in which got Bobby Lashley fired. But then apparently Adam Pearce changed his mind and rehired Lashley. He's not on Raw, so I'm still in the belief that maybe Bobby Lashley will go to SmackDown. He's done everything there is to do on Raw. There's no reason for him to go back to Raw, so I think SmackDown would be a good choice for Bobby Lashley to go to. So Theory goes on to say that Rollins got lucky, like he has his entire career. Rollins then tells Theory why he's so angry, because he's young, he's in great shape, looks phenomenal, and while he does suck, and the crowd starts chanting, "You suck," he has his Theory then raises the title, and Rollins does say that Theory is grown up. He's no longer Mr. Selfie or Daddy's little boy. He's a United States champion, but as much as that title means, there is one thing that means more. And that he knows that Theory deep down knows he will never have or be as long as Rollins is here, and that is he will never be Rollins. And then the fans cheer for that. So far, honestly, I know there's more to the promo. Before I continue, like, I have to say, like, I actually really like that promo. Rollins is right. He's no longer Mr. Selfie. He's no longer daddy's little boy. And just look at how Austin Theory started the year, and look how he's ending. He's ending it as United States champion. And I really like this new Austin Theory. This is how you book Austin Theory correctly. Rollins goes on to say that Theory is not going to be on his level. The fans start singing Rollins' theme. And Theory says that he sees right through Seth Rollins. He asks how many times has Rollins been given the ball only to fumble it. He goes on to say that Rollins has seen the mountaintop. That was only a peak. And that he's coming for Mount Everest. Theory then goes on to say that one day Rollins will realize he was only the third most successful member of the Shield. Ouch. You know? And when you look at, okay, what do you guys think? Do you guys think Rollins is the third most successful member of the Shield? Because when you compare, look at Roman and look at Jon Moxley and what he's done. I disagree. I mean, for a while it seemed like Dean Ambrose was the third most successful member. But now I really feel like Jon Moxley's come onto his own. But you could tell Rollins did not like that. So Rollins basically says that he's a mountaintop. He is Mount Everest. And that the title doesn't make the man makes the title. So he tells Theory to find out what kind of man he is and what kind of champion he is right now. And he basically challenges Theory to a fight. But then the Usos appear, front row. And Rollins says that they've got company and he and Theory can deal with this later. And it looked like for a while maybe Theory was going to actually help Rollins. But then he just grabbed his title and walked away. And then guess who comes out? Kevin Owens. He comes to the rescue. And Rollins, after the Usos go running, Rollins says that it was nice to see Kevin Owens, and he proposes a match. Owens agrees. So Adam Pearce makes the match official, and we're going to get KO and Seth Rollins versus the Usos tonight. So overall, I really did like that promo and that segment. I thought it was a really good promo. And then we get a Becky Lynch promo. She's backstage and she starts talking about how she's the best version of herself. The best version of herself is a solo act. And she wants that version tonight. She says that she and Bayley are a lot alike, that they've been underestimated, underappreciated. They rose up and changed the game. And when it's all said and done, both will have careers they are very proud of. They both done things they're not so proud of, but the difference is Lynch did those all by herself. She goes on and says, while Bayley took her out for months, she didn't even have the decency to do it by herself. If you're going to stab Becky in the back, have the decency to hold a knife. She says that 1-on-1 or 1-on-3, either way, she will be ready. Win, lose, she will die on her own sword, and Bayley can't say the same thing. Seth has had his success, but I feel like he was at his peak when he was the World Heavyweight Champion and a U.S. Champion at the same time. That's my favorite Rollins time period. That Seth Theory promo was very good. I really enjoyed what they had to say. Seth runs Monday Night Raw. Yeah, definitely. That's why he's called Seth freaking Rollins. So after that Becky Lynch promo, this leads into Becky Lynch versus Bayley, which was actually a really good match. That match didn't disappoint. I actually really enjoyed that match. I'm kind of in shock they gave us that match for free on Raw. That's a pay-per-view quality match. But anywho, like, this was second. I would not have been mad if this main evented because it was a really good match. And the way things happened was at the end, the referee ejected Dakota Kai and Io Sky, but Dakota Kai was causing a distraction. This allowed Bayley to hit Becky in the back of the head with a monitor, And then she hit the rose plant, and so Bayley was victorious. But again, Bayley didn't do it alone. She had the help of Damage Control. So I feel like maybe we're going to get a match down the road, and this might lead to Damage Control being banned from ringside. I would not be surprised if that happens. So then, before the main event, we get a backstage segment with KO and Seth Rollins. And they start talking about how it's been a long time since they teamed together. And Rollins asks why they stopped teaming together. And that's true. I actually really like the team of KO and Seth Rollins. And I was kind of sad that they didn't challenge the Usos at WrestleMania for those tag titles. But with the fact that we got Seth Rollins versus Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens versus Stone Cold, I think those were great matches. So I'm not mad that we didn't get KO and Seth Rollins versus the Usos. And so KO reminds Seth Rollins that he tried to steal his WrestleMania match, which is why they stopped teaming together. And I honestly like that he brought that up because it's storytelling. You know, it's like last week when you had Elias and Kevin Owens. Again, storytelling. So the main event was Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins versus the Usos. And they did not wait for this match to start. Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens immediately went after the Usos. Rollins attacked Jay, KO went after Jimmy. And this was a good tag match. Of course, just like in the Sami Zayn match, Solo Sikoa was going to get involved in this, but the Good Brothers, as a payback for what they did to them early in the night, attacked Solo Sikoa, who ended up going face first into the ring post. Then Seth stomped Jay on the outside. Theory attacked Seth Rollins with the title. And KO hit a pop-up powerbomb to Jimmy, which gave the victory to Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins. And then at the end, you had Sami Zayn come out. He kind of had like a stare down between him and Kevin Owens, and he got out of the ring. So much storytelling was involved in this. Like, you had the Theory attacking Seth Rollins because they have their title match on January 2nd. Then you have the Good Brothers attacking Solo to get payback from earlier in the night. You had the whole little stare down between Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. Again, you know, the plan is supposed to be KO and Sami Zayn versus the Usos at WrestleMania for those tag titles. This adds to the tag match that's scheduled on next week on Friday Night SmackDown. Kevin Owens is picking up momentum. And I would not be surprised if he faces Roman Reigns again at the Royal Rumble for the WWE Undisputed Universal title. But overall, I thought tonight's Raw was actually really great. If this is the last Raw of the year, because I know next week is supposed to be a best of celebration. They're going over the best moments of 2022. So I don't know if we're still going to get matches or what the format is next week. But if this is the last Raw, it went out with a bang. I actually enjoyed tonight's Raw. I really love the fact that the Bloodline showed up and they were attacking people. Poor Mustafa Ali, poor Andre Chase, poor Elias got whacked with his own guitar. I really enjoyed all the matches tonight except for the ladder match. I thought the ladder match was arguably the weakest weakest match and segment of tonight. If you take that ladder match out, this Raw would have been a Shawn Spears perfect 10. But because of that ladder match, I just didn't really enjoy that ladder match. So I'm actually going to give this a 9 out of 10. I really did enjoy tonight's Raw, and it was actually a pretty good show. Can't really complain that much. But with that being said, you guys, that concludes this review. Thank you guys all so much for watching and for the continued support. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell so you get notified whenever I go live or release a new video. And I hope to see you guys live after AEW Dynamite. Bye.